The distress beacon had been pulsing for 3 standard weeks before the Solace runner finally intercepted it. Captain Arya Vance stood on the bridge, eyes narrowed as the flickering signal danced across the holographic display. Its origin was a moon that, according to all charts, should have been empty, a barren rock orbiting a gas giant at the edge of known space. "Ma'am, the source is artificial," LT. Corin Vale reported from the navigation console. "There are multiple heat signatures, faint but unmistakably alive." Arya felt the familiar pressure of command settle into her chest. Faint heat signatures almost always meant one of two things: abandoned settlements or dying inhabitants. Neither was a hopeful scenario. "Prepare for descent," she said. "Medical team on full alert." The moon's surface was a jagged expanse of silver rock and ice that shimmered under the pale glow of a distant sun. As the ship penetrated the thin atmosphere, a settlement came into view. A jumble of domes and angular structures, metallic panels dented and rusting, as if abandoned in haste. But Arya's stomach twisted at the movement. Small figures staggered between the domes, dragging themselves across the ice. Their fur, once likely sleek and vibrant, was tangled and frostbitten. Even from orbit she could tell they were children. "My God," whispered Dr. Lyra Hwan behind her. "They're just children." The landing was unnervingly smooth. As Arya led her team down the ramp, she encountered the inhabitants face to face. They were feline in shape, pointed ears, long whiskers, and frail, twitching tails. Yet these were not the proud Vireland warriors of the Nyxian arm. These were cubs, barely the size of human 7- or 8-year-olds, eyes wide with fever and fear. One small figure approached on trembling legs. Her fur was a patchwork of orange and white, matted with frost and dried blood. Her tiny frame barely weighed 30 pounds, ribs sharply outlined beneath the thin coat. When she lifted her golden eyes to Arya, a fragile glimmer of hope clung to them despite exhaustion. "Please," the cub whispered in broken standard, her voice cracking. "Help, siblings, please." Arya dropped to one knee without hesitation. Ignoring protocol, ignoring potential threats, she removed her glove and touched the cub's forehead. The heat radiating from the child was alarming. "We're here to help," Arya said softly. "What's your name?" Rima Soren." The cub swayed violently, and Arya caught her before she collapsed. Rima's small body shook with fever, trembling uncontrollably. "Dr. Hwan, triage immediately," Arya barked. Chaos erupted in the settlement as the medical team fanned out. They discovered 247 Vireland cubs, each in varying states of malnutrition, frostbite, and illness. Piecing together the story from the older cubs who could speak, they learned that these were refugees from Viral Prime, sent to this moon when a plague decimated their homeworld. The adults had loaded the children onto any transport available, with supplies intended to last 6 months. 8 months had passed. Supplies had long run out. Heating systems failed, water purifiers broke, and one by one the cubs had started to perish. Arya worked through the night, orchestrating a transformation of the Solace runner into a mobile medical station. Cargo bays became wards, filled with small, wrapped bodies, each connected to intravenous fluids. The shallow, uneven breathing of the cubs filled the cold, metallic space. Rima Soren remained conscious longer than most. She lay on a medical cot, eyes following Arya as she moved from patient to patient with unwavering focus. "Why?" Rima asked weakly, voice barely above a whisper. "Why help us? We mean nothing to humans." Arya's gaze softened. She could have recited treaties, moral codes, or universal humanitarian directives. Instead, she spoke plainly. "Because you're children," Arya said, tucking Rima's blanket around her. "And children should never suffer. Not human, not Vireland, not any child anywhere in this galaxy." Rima's voice faltered. "But your resources, your ship, your time." "We'll manage," Arya said firmly. "Humans are very good at managing when it matters most." And they proved it. Over the next 72 hours, miracles unfolded aboard the ship. Engineer Terk Holm rerouted water recyclers to triple their capacity. Chef Katomir stretched rations with cunning precision. Dr. Lyra Hwan and her team worked shifts beyond endurance, treating frostbite, infections, and broken bones, coaxing tiny bodies back from the brink. By the fourth day, only 3 cubs had died, far fewer than the dozens who would have perished without intervention. Recovery began in earnest. Fever broke, eyes cleared, and strength returned. Rima Soren was among the first. Sitting in the medical bay, her orange and white fur brushed and glistening, she devoured synthesized protein paste with renewed vigor, drawing a tired but proud smile from Arya. "Captain Vance," Rima said, setting down her bowl. "In our histories, humans are unpredictable, sometimes friends, sometimes enemies. But now," she paused, choosing words with care, "I think I understand why others fear you." Arya raised an eyebrow. "Fear us?" "Yes," Rima said solemnly. "Because when humans decide something matters, they will not stop. They do not weigh cost nor fear consequence. They just act. It is terrifying and extraordinary." Arya felt warmth bloom in her chest. "We're not so different from you, Rima. We just believe some things are worth every cost." "What things?" "Life, hope, the future." Arya gestured around the med bay, filled with cubs laughing, eating, and playing. "Your future." 2 weeks later, the Solace runner limped into Outpost Hellion, cargo bay bursting with 244 recovering Vireland cubs, crew exhausted but triumphant. The station's docking control was visibly shocked at the passenger manifest. News spread rapidly through the colonial network, eventually reaching Earth. Within weeks, relief convoys were dispatched to recover and reunite the cubs with any surviving adults from Viral Prime. Rima Soren stood with Arya on the observation deck, healthy and alert, golden eyes bright, pressing her small hand against the viewport. "When I grow up," she said softly, "I will remember this. What humans did, what you did, and I will ensure all Vireland remember." Arya knelt beside her. "Remember this instead, that in a vast, indifferent universe kindness still exists. It's not uniquely human, Rima. It's a choice every being can make." As the relief shuttles carried away 244 saved lives into uncertain futures, Arya felt a fierce pride. Humans were complex, often reckless, territorial, and foolish. But they could also be this, willing to push themselves and their ships to the brink for children they'd never met, of a species they barely knew, needing nothing in return but the chance to do what was right. Subscribe to the channel to make the stories even more exciting.